It's October now, and in a few weeks' time, my life will be changed forever. I've been dreaming of this time for months now, as I'll be stepping into a world I never thought possible to reach. But it's not quite time yet. And so, even though it's hard to focus on much else, there are still many tasks at hand to complete during these autumn days, before the cold takes over. And my new venture begins. Hello there, you guys. So I just finished setting up some goldenrod oil. I gathered some goldenrod last week or maybe the week prior to that and set it to dry. I saw a lot of you asking me what my plans were with it. Originally, I had saved it to craft it into a tea. But the more I thought about it, I realized I'd get far more use out of it if I just made it into an oil and then, once it was fully infused, crafted it into a salve. Surprise, surprise. It's been a while since I made a salve, and it will still be a little bit longer till I can make one again. But I promised that I wouldn't make one for a while, and I think waiting at least 4 more weeks qualifies as a while. Right? But anyways, it's Friday now, and this week has just kind of flown by. Yesterday I finalized a piece of work that I'd actually abandoned back in February. Funny enough, I started this paper cut for this channel, and my intention was to share more of my artwork here and make that kind of a staple of everything going on here. But the more I worked on it and the more I tried to film it, I realized that I don't really have a lot of good spaces in my house to really film and share what I'm working on. My favorite way to work with paper cutting is fairly large scale. I have a lot of pieces that are really difficult to fit. One of my favorite pieces that I've ever made is 15 feet by 20 feet. So naturally they do take up quite a bit of space while I'm working on them. And unfortunately, my house is kind of a bit of a dark pit a lot of the time, hence why I film in front of this window all the time. So it does make it kind of hard to share what I'm working on because the tables and stuff that I use are often shrouded in darkness. But here soon, that won't be much of a problem anymore. I'll tell you more about that next week. But anyways, I found this piece on top of a cabinet earlier this week and I just kind of remembered, oh yeah, I was working on this, and I pulled it down, it needed some repairs, and I fixed it up a bit, and it honestly didn't need all that much work. I ended up cutting off a whole extra section that I was going to finish out, but I didn't really have enough time to do that, and I also realized that it was a little too damaged to carry the weight of that section. So I just cut it off and it became a little bit of a smaller piece. But I actually really enjoy it. It's a little more dynamic and the shape is far more fun than its original rectangle design. There's something really satisfying about finishing a project that you started a while back and forgot about. I kind of think it's because it takes far less time to complete it, but it's also something that I had kind of planned to just never finish and leave collecting dust. So to see it done and happy feels pretty good. Ooh. Do any of you guys have stink bugs? They are rather new here. Well, maybe within the last 10, 15 years, I don't know. They haven't been here my whole life. And I am not a big fan of them, if you couldn't tell. Ooh. But anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. Back to art. The primary way I supported myself financially before YouTube and herbalism stuff was through my art, often through paper cuts. Occasionally there was the odd mural here and there, but I love paper cutting. It was what I found a home in high school, and I just really haven't left. But since February, since I abandoned that piece, I haven't worked in a large scale. And it just felt really good to get back to that. So I'm looking forward to doing some more of that in the future and documenting it here because soon I can. Oh my gosh, I want to tell you guys this so badly. It is, I mean, some of you have been able to kind of guess, and some of you also already know. If you're on my Patreon, you already know, because I couldn't keep my secret, so I had to tell somebody. But here soon, in the next week or so, you'll know this grand secret that I've been wanting to tell you guys for weeks now. Honestly, for months, but really, it's been super exciting for weeks. So here soon, you guys will know. And actually this vlog, just like the last one, is a little shorter than normal because of this secret. I've been having to spend a lot of time behind the scenes working on things, but you will see everything that I've been doing here soon, I promise. Oh my gosh, I can't stop being excited. I just want to tell you guys, but next week you'll know, I promise. But okay, I will stop talking about this thing that I can't really talk about because I don't think that's super fair to you guys. So beyond the artwork and the oil that I am setting up to make a salve at a later date, this week has been a little bit more low-key and I got a lot of the stuff done that I have been meaning to do, such as voting. And yes, I'm about to make this a voting thing. Virginia opened up early voting in the last couple of weeks, and I made it up there earlier this week to get my vote in. It is such an incredible privilege to be able to vote. So I ask of you, if you are American and of voting age, to just take the time and cast your ballot in any way that you can, whether it's mailing it in or going in person, voting early, or on election day. And believe me, I've heard the argument that one vote doesn't really matter, but of all the hundreds, of all the thousands of you that believe that, that's enough to sway a vote, significantly. So don't just sit home and think that your vote doesn't matter, because it really does. It really, really does. So times are weird right now and incredibly challenging, but this is something that we can do for our country. If you're American, I know a lot of you aren't, but I know those of you that are not American are watching and are seeing what's going down here. And honestly, I wish some of you could help vote, but it's just important, and I hope with all of my heart that that is not lost on any of you. Alrighty guys, now that I gave a spiel on voting, I will include a registration link down below if you aren't registered to vote. So please go register to vote if you haven't registered already. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am so excited to be sharing with you this exciting news that is coming. Oh my gosh, I am whacking things on my table, but I'll be telling you guys next week, and of course for those of you on Patreon, you are already aware, and I will be giving you some extra hints here in the next week, or well, perhaps just early content. So it'll be up there for you guys. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I so look forward to seeing you soon.